This is Captain Worley. He was the head of this massive ship, the USS Cyclops. On February 22, 1918, during the First World War, the ship was scheduled to transfer 8,000 tons of manganese ore from Salvador, Brazil to Baltimore, United States. The ship was carrying about 300 people on board, and it was expected to reach its destination by March 13, a total travel of about 3 weeks. Unfortunately, the ship was never seen again. A search effort was initiated. Multiple boats sailed the same route to look for any clues. On March 10, just a few days before the rescue mission, there was a storm that occurred, and they believe this delayed the arrival of the ship. Initially, they thought that it got stranded, so they visited several nearby islands in hope to spot the missing ship. However, this yielded nothing. After weeks of searching, they now believe that the ship likely sank due to the storm. But one strange thing about this is that not a single debris was found. You would think that a massive ship like this would leave clues of what happened, but this doesn't seem the case. It left the whole rescue team completely baffled. There were two crucial reports authorities received after questioning a couple of people. The first report revealed that before the ship departed from Salvador, Brazil, Captain Worley noticed that the engine had a cracked cylinder. However, the people on the ground insisted that the damage wasn't critical and told them that they should be safe to continue with the journey. They suggested that they could just repair the minor issue once they reached their destination. The second report revealed that in March 3rd, the ship made an emergency stopover in Barbados. Captain Worley decided to do this because he noticed that the water level was over the plimsoll line. The plimsoll line is used as a reference to indicate the maximum depth allowed. If the water passes above and covers the marker, it means the ship is overloaded. Again, there was a disagreement between Captain Worley and the people on the ground. They argued that the cargoes were properly secured and nothing was wrong. Since they were behind schedule, Captain Worley refused to waste any more time arguing, so he took the rest and went ahead with the journey. Unfortunately, even with this additional information, they still haven't figured out what exactly happened to the ship. There were several theories that were proposed. Since this occurred during the First World War, it was thought that it got sank by a German submarine. The ship was a strategic target since it carried valuable materials that were used during war times. However, there had been no reports of any submarines around the area. This caused a lot of back and forth between parties. The Germans denied of any knowledge of the USS Cyclops, but the authorities didn't believe them and insisted on telling the truth. The big problem with this theory is that if the Germans indeed shot down the vessel, there would have been plenty of wreckages to be found. It seems impossible to hide any debris from such attack. Admiral George Van Doo, a naval aviator, made a huge discovery regarding the ship's structure. He found out that the boat had a mechanical design flaw. He noticed that there was a huge fault with a specific beam of the ship which could cause instability. Other ships that share similar design showed signs of wear and tear as well. He concluded that the ship possibly sank after this specific beam broke. Since it was thought that the ship was overloaded, combine this with a broken beam is a recipe for disaster. Years after its disappearance, around the 1940s, the Bermuda Triangle became popular, and it was suggested that the USS Cyclops was one of the victims. At the time it went missing, the urban legend of the Bermuda Triangle wasn't very widespread. It only came to their attention when two other ships that traveled the same route as the USS Cyclops both disappeared. USS Proteus went missing on November 23, 1941, and USS Nereus on December 10, 1941. Both ships transport heavy loads of raw materials, and it's unknown the main cause of their disappearance. It was suggested that all three suffered the same fate. Another proposal that was quite far-fetched was that that ship was attacked by a sea monster. The fact that there weren't any debris left behind could indicate a large creature just swallowed the ship whole. Again, this was all just speculation. The incident made authorities look into all the crew members' background. To their surprise, the captain became the spotlight in their investigation. George Worley was not his real name. Instead, it was Johann Friedrich Weichmann. He was born in Hanover, Germany in 1862. At the age of 16, he moved to the United States by sneaking inside the ship heading to San Francisco. He then created a new identity. Before becoming a captain, he worked his way up and worked as a crew member in a smaller fleet. He only befriended people who were Germans and rarely interacted with other people. He was accused as a supporter of the German army. Keep in mind, this was during the First World War. Many thought he was a spy and working with the enemy. However, no evidence of this came up. Even the German army denied that he was a soldier. As a captain, he was not liked by many, and he tends to get really agitated on small things. Whenever a crew member messed up on minor things, he would throw a fit and would tell them that they aren't good enough to do the job. There was one case when it got out of hand. He got into an argument with a crew member. He got really angry and chased a crew member in the ship while holding a pistol. People also describe him as a know-it-all. He didn't like when other people tell him what to do. There were a couple of senior officers who tried to give him advice to do certain things, like how they should load the cargo. He saw this quite offensive and would downright dismiss them. There were times he wouldn't let an experienced officer assigned on managing the shipment just because he simply didn't like him. Some suggested that his ego caused the incident. They believed that the workers who were assigned to load the cargoes were inexperienced, so it may be possible that this contributed to the ship's sinking. The fact that the water level was over the plimsoll line indicates the ship was overloaded and it wasn't done correctly. With no clear explanation of what exactly happened, the most plausible explanation is that it sank during the storm. While many accepted this, it still doesn't explain why there weren't any wreckages. Nonetheless, on June 1st, 1918, they stopped searching any further, and all the members of the ship were declared legally dead.